Hi, I'm not sure who this message is for, but I literally just heard Spirit ask me to pull some cards and record this video and share it where the person who needs to hear it can see it and listen. So we have the Fool card upright, the Queen of Swords reversed, the Six of Cups upright, and the Two of Swords upright. So we do have one major arcana here, 2 swords, and 1 cup card. So the first thing I'm getting when I'm seeing the spread is that you've been doing a lot of thinking. And all the thinking you're doing is not resulting in you feeling decisive. It's not resulting in you feeling like you have a clear direction about where you want to go. And what you've been overthinking about has to do with taking a risk, right? Taking a risk that on the one hand can bring you a lot of joy and so much freedom, but on the other hand could result in you drowning, right? Taking that step off the ledge and going in too deep. Not being able to get your head above the water after you dive in. So, those are 2 different extremes, aren't they? One, you jump and you realize that you can fly, you can soar, you can dip into the sea whenever you want and come up for air, that you can do it all, that you can manage everything. And the other suggests that you're delusional, that you didn't have clear depth, that you didn't understand the real cost benefit of the risk you were taking, right? So there's that. And then, right here in the middle, we have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups to me is always about inner child work, right? It's about inner child work because even if it is involving another person, it's information that your inner child needed, right? Say you're the little child in the card, right? That means you're receiving information for your younger self and for the younger self that lives in the older version of you, right? So you're the older person. It means that you're giving yourself what you would have wanted an older person when you were younger to give you. Hopefully that makes sense. So, right. So we're thinking about taking a risk and what the implications of that risk will be. And when we have the Queen of Swords reverse, it's really like harsh realities that you're sharing with yourself, right? It's like you don't feel like you can be optimistic, even though recently your inner child has been realizing that she can be optimistic because she's going to be self-realized and self-actualized one day, right? So you're being encouraged to lean into optimism and see which direction leaning into optimism and faith over self-critical analyses. See which direction optimism can take you in. Because the cups represent emotions, and there's a moon, the crescent moon on the Two of Swords, right? On one side you have emotional processing. On the other side, you have more directionless thinking. It's just floating in the air. And sometimes that's fine, right? But when you're cutting through air, you're cutting through air. But when you're cutting through the moon, it's like you're cutting into something. You're cutting into the emotional process. The cutting is the emotional process, right? You're cutting through the thick stuff that's making it hard to move forward. But if you just stay in this critical self-thought, repeating and channeling the harsh phrases that the adults in your life used to give to you, right? To put you down. No, that's the only card in reverse in the spread is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is such a truth teller. She says it how it is. She doesn't sugarcoat it, right? She doesn't try to make a bad thing sound a little bit better, okay? Queen of Swords is such like Mercury and Aries energy. Right? So what place does this energy have in taking risks and listening to our inner child and having faith in our future selves and being decisive and allowing ourselves to move through all the emotions? What place does this type of energy have in that? She doesn't have much place, right? There's no moon or sun in this card, right? And in both the swords cards, there's just the blue sky, right? But then if you notice, if you look a little closer, just because it's the blue sky doesn't mean there aren't important symbols. And the Queen of Swords is the bird. And the Two of Swords, it's the moon. So it's not a yellow sky. It's not the dawn, right? The sun hasn't just risen. It's in this weird in-between state. It's in the twilight zone. You know? It's not an overcast day where it's cool enough to pull up the foliage. Right? It's just one of those weird, kind of stormy, kind of foggy days where it's like, you know, the sun's out there somewhere because it's bright, but you haven't seen it all day and it's getting late. And because it's getting late, you're starting to get frustrated with yourself. What have I done today? The day's almost over. I couldn't keep track of time. Blah, blah, blah. Me, nag, nag, nag. The Fool and the person in the Two of Swords card are both wearing yellow shoes. And the Fool has dirty blonde hair. And Two of Swords has dark brown hair, but I feel like the Fool is like when you were bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and you just, you know, started your journey in the beginning. And the Two of Swords is not quite at the end, but has seen a lot of shit. It's just feeling very, very, very over the bullshit that they are seeing everywhere in every direction, and they're just trying to feel and sense where they can get out of the bullshit and into the emotional process. In order to get to that place, you have to take the steps forward into talking with your younger self and listening and learning how she feels, because how she feels will explain why you feel the way you feel in this current moment. And once you understand how you really feel, you can stop fucking patronizing yourself and follow the sharp excavating process of your emotions and your inner world. Cut through that fucking thick stuff. It's taking up space. Alright. I think I'm done. I hope that helped.